My name is Onyeka Onwenu. A few weeks before the coup, the BBC and Nigerian television asked me to report as a Nigerian television journalist on the situation in my country. Recently, like many Nigerians, I've felt frustrated and saddened by what has happened to us. We've had our independence for more than 20 years. By third world standards, we have a well-educated elite. We had a productive farming economy. We have minerals. And we discovered a few years ago that we had oil, a lot of oil. Yet today we are importing food that we should be growing. We are a bankrupt nation, and we have an international reputation for large-scale corruption. Many of our people are unhappy, and some even hungry. What has gone wrong? This is what I set out to explore. We sensed that change had to come to our nation, that our people wouldn't continue to accept the inefficient, corrupt civilian government of President Shagari. We were right. Before this film was completed, the coup took place. So our report, instead of being a prophecy, is now an explanation as to why the majority of my people, most of whom know what democracy is about and want it ultimately, welcomed yet another military takeover. I'm not a politician. I'm not an economist. The story I have to tell is a personal one about my hopes and fears for my country. Coming home, though, is one thing. Feeling at home is another. You soon come face to face with the tribulations of living in modern Lagos.
Bring it this way.
In most countries, once you pass through customs, you're all right. But not here.
Who has the bag? Can we see? Move.
Lagos is now the most expensive city in the world. It is also one of the most uncomfortable, with its traffic jams, lack of running water, constant power cuts, and the mountains of rubbish in the streets.
I mean, to live in Lagos is to live in the war front. I mean, really, I don't know how anybody can live day after day in that chaotic situation. To live in any of our cities is to wage war against filth.
We just don't seem to be coping with modernity. What people in the street feel is told by the blind singer, Kokoro. His improvisations have always been about the everyday hardships of life. Today, he sings about the meanness and the ugliness of what Lagos has become. And he's right. But this is no reflection of traditional Nigeria.
I have to keep hoping, being optimistic about Nigeria, because there is no alternative.
Would you ever leave this country?
No, never. This is where God in his infinite wisdom planted me, and this is where I intend to live. I'll travel and come back, but I don't think one has a right even to go somewhere else, where somebody else has cleaned up. I think this is where the work is, and this is where I shall be.
Before making this film, I felt like moving to some other African country. I don't feel that way now. For the moment, at least, there's a sense of hope in Nigeria. How long that would last, I don't know. This country, like the rest of Africa, only so recently in charge of its own affairs, is still finding its way. It's easy to forget that we're trying to do in a matter of decades what it took the Western world centuries to do. Perhaps at the moment we're not doing it so well, but at least we're doing it ourselves. And as you can see, not without the ability to recognize some of our shortcomings. The fact that this film was made at all says something for Nigeria.